Your mom misses you. I promise you, there's no punchline. This isn't a joke. It's just that for 90% of you out there, it's true. Your mom genuinely misses you. And you should call her. Well, wait till I finish this video and then call her. Because I'm gonna share a couple things with you that'll make her love you more than ever before. So I'm back home this week for Thanksgiving, and I'm seeing my parents for the first time since May earlier this year for my graduation. And now that I think about it, these are the only 2 times I've seen them all year. And I start working next year, so I'm probably gonna see them even less. Maybe once a year at the end for the holidays, because I don't know if I'll be able to find more time to see them. And with my life just getting started with moving to a new city and starting a new job, I'm gonna be busier and busier. And well, they're retired now, so their lives are pretty calm, not much going on. So considering how much I miss them with so much on my plate, it's hard to imagine how much they do miss me when they have so much less distractions in their life. So while I'm here for this week, I'm trying to cherish all the moments that I can have with them, because moving forward, I know I'll have less. And I want you to cherish the moments that you'll be having with your parents in the future, because you know that they're limited. More often than not, when someone asks you, do you want to spend more time with your parents? The answer is, of course I do. But if they follow up and ask, what are you doing to go see them anytime soon? You think to yourself, wow, I haven't really made any plans to go see them. Maybe I was gonna go home for Thanksgiving or Christmas, but isn't that just going home when it's convenient for you? You're not really making an effort to see them, are you? We often take for granted that our parents are gonna be there forever, because that's how it's always been. From when you're a little kid growing up, to even when you're a young adult. You always feel like your parents are always there. You can give them a call whenever, and they'll answer. Or you can go home, and they'll be there. But one day, that's not gonna be true. One day, you're gonna wanna see them, and they won't be there anymore. So why aren't we making more of an effort to go see them when we can? Like, we know that their time is limited, because our time is limited as well, but theirs is more limited than ours. So why don't we try to make this effort, go spend time with them, and not just do what's convenient for us? We often get caught up in our own lives with things that seem to have much more higher priority than seeing our parents, like securing that new job or finding a new apartment, because they're really immediate, they're right in front of you. And something that I really struggle with, when I'm away from my parents, which is basically all the time now, I kind of forget that they're still a part of my life. Like, the people and the events that are right in front of me, they take up my focus. And I'll forget to call and text my parents. My mom actually gets really upset with me about this. She's often texting me, and well, she's the first one to text. And obviously I'll respond, but I almost never make the initial move to text her. And she'll complain and say, you never text me first. Do you not care about me? That's just not true. But when I think about it, I don't think I actually make that effort to text her. And if she never texted me, I don't know how often I'd be speaking with her. So why do we keep pushing our parents down our list of priorities? Like, yeah, there might be something more pressing in that exact moment that you need to handle right away. But at the end of the day, your parents should be somewhere near the top of your priority list. Because think about it, for the first, couple years of their life, you were their entire life. You were their top priority. They had to keep you fed, they had to keep you happy. They kept you alive. And even as you grew up, you're still a top priority to them. They made sure that you went through life smoothly. So why can't you treat them the same way? Treat them the way that they treated you, and give them the priority that they gave you. A couple years ago, there was an analysis showing how much time we spend with the people around us as we age. And one of the things that stood out on this graph was the amount of time we spent with our parents. Because think about it, when you're a baby, you're spending every minute of your life with your parents. They're watching you all the time and making sure you're still alive. And as you grow a little older, but you're still a kid, you start going to school. So let's say you sleep for 8 hours, go to school for 8 hours, have a couple hours to yourself and your friends. So maybe you're spending about 5 hours a day with your parents still. And then all of a sudden you move out You're going to college, you're starting a job. Regardless of what happens, you're no longer living with your parents. And at that point, we're not talking about hours in a day that you're seeing your parents. It's hours in a year. On average, by the time you're 18, you've already spent 90% of the time you ever will with your parents already. And that means for the rest of your life, you only get a fraction of that time. Now, imagine telling an 18-year-old who just wants to get out of the house and never see their parents again. They're not going to understand. I mean, if you told my younger self that, he'd say, that's just some statistic you pulled out of thin air just to make me feel bad about not spending time with my parents. But 4 years later, and I'm no longer living under the same roof as my parents, I would have wished somebody sat me down and showed me the numbers and really made an emphasis as to how it's true. I barely see my parents anymore. And it's honestly really sad. Going from seeing my parents every day to not seeing them at all. It's a really hard transition to make. So whenever I do get the chance to spend time with them, I try to make the most of those moments. And if you're younger and you're watching this video and you're still living under the same roof as your parents, I urge you to think about your future. One where you're not under the same roof as your parents. One where you hardly see them at all. Because I know you'll look back wanting to have spent more time with them. So while you can, take advantage of it. They're right there. Go talk to them. Go hang out. And if you're older, well, too bad. It's too late. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to tell you a few things about why it's so important to spend time with your parents, so you should make that effort to go see them. As your parents get older, the time you spend with them will be some of the happiest of their life. Go ahead and ask them. They'll tell you it's true. And well, for you, that time spent with them might shape the person you are and shape the person that you become. Because every time that I come home and spend time with my parents, I'm reminded of who I am, where I come from, and it keeps me grounded. Like at dinner, we share stories about my childhood that I hardly remember. And those stories made me who I am today. Like when my sister shook my baby crib a little bit too hard, and I probably ended up a little dumber than I would have if she didn't. There are very few people in this world that know you as well as your parents do. Even though you might not think that you share every detail of your life with them as you do with your friends or your partner, your parents watch you grow up. They watch you become the person you are today. And they've known you the longest in your life. So spending time with them will reveal things about yourself that no one else will tell you. And really, being able to see that, have that level of introspection is really important. And you can only get that by spending time with them. I hope that I've convinced you that you should be spending more time with your parents, but I haven't really told you how. So let's start small. Try to schedule a regular time every week where you call them. While it doesn't seem like a big thing, when you schedule an event, it's really hard for you to cancel it. It makes you feel obligated to follow through. And well, it's a small thing, and once you put it on your calendar, you will do it. And even if you have nothing to say to them, you should call them just to hear their voice. My mom's always told me, no news is good news. And if you take that to heart, then calling them with nothing to say is a good thing, not a bad one. Whenever you do get the chance to be around them, I suggest you do some activities together. I mean, your parents are people too. They don't want to just talk all day. Unless that's what they prefer, then do that. But I know my parents like to do things together. So build a puzzle. Go for a walk. Maybe watch a movie if that's what they like. Because when you do things together, you have more of an opportunity to talk about what's going on rather than just talk about your life. Yeah, your life is interesting, but I know that if you tell them enough, you'll run out of things to say. But you'll never run out of things to do together. And finally, you should ask your parents about their lives. I mean, I know it feels a little weird. Your entire childhood, your parents are asking you how school went, how your day went, and you never really turn around and ask them how their lives are doing, because you kind of forget that they have lives too. So if you take the time to ask them how they're doing, it really opens up the communication and makes it a two-way street instead of a one-way. Just a little bit of effort can go a long way. I'm not asking you to make grand gestures. I'm just saying, take these small steps and make the time you spend together more meaningful. One day, you're gonna look back and wish you had more time with your parents. I mean, I know I already do. So don't wait until it's too late. Do it now and make the most of what you have left. So call your mom, tell her you love her, and find some time that you can spend together. If you enjoyed this video, check out this video I made last week, talking about how chasing perfection is ruining your life.